Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the first show of the season. The season is back. Premier League, Champions League. It's all back. There's lots to uncover. But today we're going to be focusing obviously on the Champions League, the group stage, as well as the two biggest names in football officially moving clubs. So it's definitely been an amazing transfer window. For some clubs, not so much for some. But obviously, I have Yves here, Barca fan. I know his tears are still his eyes are still teary from Messi leaving, and then we also have Jeff, who's going to be coming on, Arsenal fan, and obviously Real Madrid faithful as well. So we're gonna have a good conversation today. So Yves, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know it's been a long time trying to plan with the summer and just everyone's busy right now. So I'm just glad that you were able to take the time to do the show with me today. So
My
yeah, man.
pleasure,
So
man.
let's just get started first. And I haven't spoken to you, obviously, um, about your thoughts on Messi leaving Barcelona. Not just Messi. I feel like you guys did more of a lot of outs versus ins in the transfer window. So yeah, man, this is your chance to just tell me how you felt about the Messi move from Barcelona and just what's going on with the club at the moment.
Well, what's going on with the club is quite clear. I mean, we're in heavy debt. There's no way to walk away from it. Um, we have to clear up whatever Bart didn't do, which is a big issue. In terms of Messi leaving, I mean, we saw it coming for a long time. The fact that he didn't renew his contract in June. They couldn't. It was already fishy. Things were just prolonging and prolonging. Got close to the transfer window, and every Barcelona fan was getting nervous. But the the pain is still there. Obviously, seeing him in a Paris jersey is very tough. They're a rival. We don't like them, not even near one% of how we like them. The way how it ended with Neymar, how they're playing, how they're polluting football, how they're a state-owned club. It's not something we would have liked as any fan to go there. But
Yeah.
listen, we love Messi, we support Messi, and we want him the best. He gave us his best years, and he left. It's sad, and that's just the way it is. In terms of the club, more outs than ins. You are right. We had to balance the books. I mean, what I like about it is we got rid of Grizi, as much as people deny it, and we gave him, a player on a platter for Athletic Madrid. I just think it just wasn't working. It was time to cut it. It was time to make a
Yeah.
call. I think Laporta made the call saying, "Listen, we're never going to get the amount we want from him, and we just need to cut our losses now to get that heavy salary out there." What's surprising is we kept Coutinho, which is surprising to me. I don't really understand. Either no club was really interested, or they just refused to give another loan with no mandatory buy. The fact that Griezmann left is a big weight off our shoulders because we were sick and tired of waiting for magic to never happen. There's definitely now players that can step up. Whether it be Pedri, which plays in that position, whether it be Ansu Fati that can play as a striker as a backup for Depay. Depay stepped up. He's exactly the player we need. Aguero is still to come, so there will be plug-in players, and then De Jong will be a plug-in loan player until we
Yeah.
figure the finances for next year. I think Laporta now is into his third reshuffle. He did it once with post Rivaldo era. He did it twice with post Ronaldinho era, which everybody thought it was going to be disgusting, and now he's doing it again with post Messi. Messi will be his toughest thing to replace because Messi has been, the club's biggest scorer and biggest everything. He's been bigger. It's the first time a player has been bigger than Barcelona in a long time.
Yeah.
But we trust Laporta, and it's going to happen. I know a lot of fans think that it's going to be a long, hard couple of years, but I actually think Laporta getting rid of all these players quick will make our life easier in a year. I think in a year we can actually reshuffle things quicker. We will have a lot less players at high salary that we can
Yeah.
get rid of, and then we can potentially buy, you know, players that we really need. Maybe Haaland will go in because 75 mil we would have the cash, but
Yeah.
will that make sense compared to other players, other teams? Probably not, because we will not be a Champions League team for another 2 to 3 years, if not three, honestly.
Oh, geez, you actually do feel that Barcelona is not going to make Champions League. That is serious.
I think that we'd be very lucky if we qualify for Champions League this year, seeing the team we have. To be fair, Real Madrid isn't better. It's just Atletico Madrid has a clear path. I think we'd be very lucky to qualify for Champions League. Winning Champions League is 1000% no. We'd be very lucky if we pass quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Um, I think next year, if we don't buy a big player and some key players in some positions, like I'm hearing Olmo, which is a great player. I'm hearing Haaland
yeah,
is obviously still in the dream, but if we don't buy key players, we're not going to be back in Champions League at least for 3 years in terms of a productive team. We'll be
yeah,
there potentially, but I don't think we'll be a team that you can say Barca is to win. That's not going to happen for a while.
yeah. That does make sense. Like I wasn't too worried about, obviously I'm not a fan of Barcelona, but just looking at just the history of the club, it's one of those things whereby I figured, you know what, you guys will rebuild quick just because Barcelona and Real Madrid are still the two top teams that most, non-English speaking players, it's their dream to go, right? So I feel like you guys
Right.
would not have that much issue. You actually did raise a great point about Haaland. I didn't know Barcelona was actually interested in him, but that could actually be pretty strategic if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid next season. It would kind of make sense that Haaland goes to Barca and kind of create that unify that competition, right? Like we saw with Messi and
Well,
Ronaldo.
I think there's 2 points there. If Mbappe leaves for Real Madrid, which is most likely the case, Paris will be hunting their next star. Most likely it will be Haaland, 1000%.
Ooh,
Everyone can afford his transfer release next year. It'll be 75 mil. The real question is who's going to pay him the highest salary that he wants.
yeah,
Barcelona won't be able to compete to the levels of PSG in terms of salary. Real Madrid will most likely want both. Can they afford both? That'll be question because
that would be crazy.
they offer 200 mil, so they clearly have money somehow for Mbappe. So they obviously will have money for Haaland, but will Haaland want to play with Mbappe or will he just want to be the star himself? That's another question. I think if Paris don't win the Champions League this year, which is probably their best chance yet, if they don't win the Champions League with this team, no offense to Paris, I think you can call it a failed project because no one loses with a team like that.
Yeah,
That's my. So if they miss this opportunity and Ramos ends up being 37, Messi 35, 36 going into next Champions League era, I think and Mbappe potentially not staying. I think they would really miss their luck. If they make it, then Mbappe can leave with a clean slate, go to Madrid and start a new era. I'm
yeah,
not too sure Haaland wants to be, in Mbappe's shadow. From understanding the trips that he did in the summer to Real Madrid and Barcelona, he was trying to fish who was going to give him the best package
yeah.
versus who was going to give him the best team. Because he's clearly stayed
Mm,
at Dortmund. He's willing to fight. So
yeah.
that wasn't the case. But I think he wants to be the face, like Mbappe. I think he wants to be the face of a new franchise.
Yeah, which does make sense. Which does make sense. Speaking of Mbappe, like, do you really see him leaving Paris now? I know, obviously, the window has closed, and obviously he's staying put for now. Do you still see him leaving though? And why? Like, I don't really get it. Like, why would he leave? You get the once in a lifetime opportunity to play with the GOAT, which is Messi, and now you're trying to force a move. That's crazy.
He wasn't trying to force a move. That was clear from the summer. He played when he was supposed to be transferred. He didn't want to force a move. He kept his word, saying he's calm.
Okay.
Um, so I don't think he forced his move. He respected the club, and he said he's focused on the next season. If Real Madrid wanted him now and Paris accepted the 200 mil, then he would have gone and accepted the project. But his commitment was to stay his final year, which is the best year of Paris so far in terms of team. Will he go free next year? I suspect he will. The reason for it is because he wants to be the face of the franchise. He wants to be he wants to live his dream, which is Real Madrid. It's always been Real Madrid. Um, Paris are saying Mbappe promised Paris that he wouldn't go for free, but Real Madrid offered 200 mil. They offered him the right price and a 1 year contract. So who didn't really respect Mbappe? Hey Jeff, we're just talking Mbappe. So obviously you'll you'll roll into this one. Honestly, from my perspective, I think that Paris didn't hold their word for Mbappe, and Mbappe held his word. Mbappe said he wouldn't go unless the right offer would come along to satisfy Paris, which 200 mil on a 1 year contract to me sounds like more than fair.
Yeah,
So if I look at that next year, why wouldn't he go free? He held his end of the bargain. Paris didn't. They didn't want to let him go because they wanted their trio and 1 year away from Qatar World Cup. But I actually see Mbappe going for free in June. He signs a contract with Madrid and announces it probably if they win Champions League. He's like, sorry guys, I'm out. I'm going to Madrid. I'm the face of the franchise. Why
yeah,
would he stay another year when Messi's 36, Ramos is going to be 38? It just doesn't make sense. This is
at
the
this
last
point.
year for me.
Yeah. So yeah, and Jeff, you just joined as Eve was talking about the. It was just basically Mbappe's situation at PSG. Does it make sense for him to leave now? Obviously, Eve is saying that he next summer would make more sense versus leaving right now. What's your thoughts on that, especially as a Real Madrid supporter?
Not to be biased or anything. No, I one thing I think is very interesting to note is PSG has too much money. When you're backed by a state, I think this is the new world of football we're in. And I actually made a comment on one of the Instagram accounts that I follow about how FFP, financial fair play, doesn't exist. Let's be very real here. It's no coincidence that PSG didn't join the Super League. It's no coincidence that after Juventus's president steps down as the as the club's representative of UEFA, that Nasser Khelaifi is now the representative. It's no coincidence that after all the money they've spent and all the exorbitant contracts they're paying these 4, 5, 6 players, that UEFA isn't coming. Sorry, there is
Jeff is right, and I fully agree with Jeff. Personally, I think Paris is a cancer to football, and it just shows what it did. It's a state-owned club, and personally, that's what's killing football. It's a state-owned club. It's like Real Madrid being owned by the king, and Barcelona being owned by the king, and then you have Bayern Munich that's owned by Merkel. It just doesn't make sense anymore, and I think FIFA Fair Play dropped the ball. There's no way they can afford a trio like this when La Liga their average salary, League their average salary can't even afford one player. It
some.
just doesn't make sense. Messi going to Paris, obviously, as a rival, I hate them. I can't stand them. But the sheer money that they have to turn down 200 mil on a 1 year contract, I mean, I would have sold Mbappe in a heartbeat, regardless of what club I was. It would have made sense. The fact that they could actually reject it and say, sorry, we have enough money, we'll keep our trio.
Yeah.
To me, that raises that FIFA Fair Play is ready to die and that Super League is inevitable because this cannot continue to happen. It cannot happen.
Yeah,
And that's the thing, right? Because the big issue, and I think Super League can be saved on one condition, that they give the fans an ability to be a part of the, I guess, the process, right? Because that was the issue, was how, I mean, and also that you don't have a guaranteed. There's no guarantee to be in the Super League. I think that's another issue, and I think they can easily fix that. The cities, the Chelseas, the Madrids, the Barca, Juventus, they don't need to be guaranteed a spot, right? They'll make it every year because they have enough clout as a club that they're going to continue to be able to pull the top quality players of Spain, of Italy, of France. Well, not France because there's no French, there's no Ligue 1 club in the Super League, and of England, right? And sorry, before all the fighter jets went over top, I just wanted to make one more point. The issue for me is this: if you have all these contracts, right, and they're so high, right? And Mbappe still doesn't sign with all these big names. Why would you risk losing him for free?
yeah,
And then they made all these statements. Leonardo made all these statements of, oh, he's gonna leave on our terms. He promised us he wouldn't leave on a free. Well, did you promise him he could leave in his final year if Real Madrid came calling? You didn't hold up your end of the bargain, like you said. right? And so, it's so disingenuous of them to act as if Mbappe is the villain, right? And everybody says it. Paris is a golden jail, right? It's where you go and you get locked up in money. And the only way out is by the Bozeman rule to let
Yeah.
your contract run out so you can sign for free when January hits and you can go.
And Jeff hits it on the spot. I think Mbappe is not stupid. He sees it. He's seen
Yeah.
how players can't get rid of it. Rabiot saw it before he left. He had to leave on
Yep.
free. He
Verratti.
got benched. I mean, it's just not possible. And I'll even go a step further, which is a line we shouldn't cross. But should FIFA fair play include clubs that don't respect, human rights?
That's
Mm.
I don't think that's going too far. I think that is a very and UEFA has sucked during the
They
Europa,
dropped the ball. They
right?
dropped the ball
Yeah.
so badly to
On
allow
human rights.
Man City and sorry, not real,
PSG.
PSG
PSG.
to come in and have these issues lingering,
Yep.
and you see these articles, 7,500 deaths for a World Cup, and you're like, hold on, that's a state-owned club owned
Yes.
by them, and yet they're allowing Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, they're going 200 mil. They broke the transfer. The whole parameter of the transfer pyramid was to respect money from what you make or not. They broke it by doing that with Mbappe and Neymar.
And
And
Neymar.
Messi coming now, you're like, hold on, you can afford 36 million a year when last year you lost La Ligue, huh?
Yeah.
How
Yep.
does this make sense? And then they're like, no, we calculated, we earned this. Like, sorry, no, that's just fake promotion.
Yeah.
Everyone suffered during COVID with
Oh yeah.
everyone being in debt. Barcelona not
Oh
even making it
man.
over a billion. Real Madrid in 800 million debt.
Yeah.
Man U in 600 million debt. Yet they're like, no, we have no debt. I'm sorry, what? It's
Yeah.
just, for me as a football fan, I'm like, and I see it. On top of that, I play FIFA 21. I have not been able to play online with anyone else than just seeing Paris every 10 seconds. Not only
Every
has it
Oh,
canceled
true.
has it canceled me playing football, but it's also canceled me playing football digitally. It's just it's just really
Because not
very tough
everybody is a
to
PSG fan. That
correct.
is funny. That is
Everybody's
funny.
on the bandwagon now, and I'm like,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I agree with Jeff. Like they didn't hold their end of the bargain. It's a golden jail, and if I was Mbappe, I would leave next year and with his upper hand.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of in a sense it's a win-win, right? With the Mbappe situation because it's a win for him because he can go on a free and demand whatever salary he wants,
Correct.
right? And at the end of the day, he's still young. He's still gonna go to a big club, whether that's Real Madrid or Barcelona, and still, so he's good in that sense, whether he stays 1 year or leaves now. And then the Paris side, they don't need the money, so their main target has been to win the Champions League, and this is the closest they've ever come to doing that.
But
So
I
it's
you know yourself, Man U have British players.
yeah,
La Liga has Spanish players. Real Madrid has Spanish. They've always gone after Galacticos, but they've had Spanish players. And Man U, British players. I have a tough time. I live in Paris, even worse. So I live in the enemy rival, And it's like I have a tough time understanding some of these French fans, and I'm like, the club died in 2012, got bought over by a club that clearly has no intention of bringing French talent apart from Mbappe. They just want everyone that's not from a local region. The coach doesn't even speak French. The coaching doesn't even speak French, and I'm like, those sort of rules should have been put by UEFA and say, sorry, if you don't have mandatory 5 French players or 2 or 3 French players as a starter, you can't start Champions
They
League.
don't have that. They don't have that rule for
yes, yeah, they
league.
don't have
No,
that
that's
in.
gone. That's
Are you
gone.
serious? So Spain has it. In Germany, all the top. Well, that's why
Name
Ligue 1
me,
is not a
name
top
me,
5.
name me 4 starters that are French on the PSG team.
Yeah,
Mbappe,
that is true. Just
Kipembe,
Mbappe.
who else? Who else? No, it's Kipembe and
Oh
Mbappe.
yeah,
Who else? It's
Kimpembe.
2
Yeah,
guys.
Kimpembe. The other ones are on the bench, which they
Yeah, the other
barely
ones
Yeah,
on the
play,
all the other
like
bench.
ones are on the bench.
Diarra and
They're,
those guys.
those guys don't count. I'm talking about starters. Starters. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, you have to have in. Is it England and England and Spain, you have to have at least three.
A certain number of
A certain number. I think it's 5 or 3 in England, but yeah, there's a minimum requirement for starters, not just on your not on your roster, starters.
There's no salary cap in Ligue 1. Obviously, that should have been implemented. That should have been implemented. I mean, PSG versus Lyon. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have there's no French players on that team. The coach isn't French. The coaching staff isn't French. Of course, if I was Messi and Barcelona just did that to me and campaign, of course I would go to PSG. The coaching is South American.
Yeah.
The team
from the
is
same
South
country.
Yeah, it's like, of course I would go. It makes sense. But as a French fan, you're like, how can I support a club that doesn't even, the only thing French is the little Eiffel Tower in their logo?
That's true, right?
Really sad. It's really sad.
Because it's was it Jordan brand, which is not even French. I mean, and everybody wonders why Le Parisien, the journal, doesn't support them. So and the thing for me is that how can you be so selfish, right? This guy, it's his dream. He could have went to Madrid from Monaco. He said, you know what, I'm going to stay in this country, and then you use his parents to force him to stay in Ligue 1 because he wants to grow. Putting words in his mouth, he wants to grow the league. What do you mean? Like, of course he wants to make the league. What's it called? He wants to bring attention to the league, have eyes on the league, but that's not on him. That's on you as a club, making sure that you are doing things that is above bar and that works with the other clubs, such that Ligue 1 becomes a top 5 league. Ligue 1's nowhere near a top 5 league, but it's paying money like it's the top league. It makes no sense.
It dropped under Portugal.
Oh my God!
It dropped under Portugal in coefficient. So you're like, how is a team be able to afford that much? That coefficient dropped under Portugal, and then you look at the team. You're like, okay, you want to make Ligue 1 better? Why don't you share the wealth? Do something to help the little clubs.
Yep.
Do something. I will never, like Lille last year, I was praying they were winning. Why? Because they won it by a true fashion, getting young talent coming in, fighting. And I knew the response was going to be, let's blow this transfer out of the water. And it did. They did. They made a whole thing about it. But what
isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy though? Like, if Lille is doing it one way and they win, and you're doing it the same way and you don't win, why would you double down on doing it the same way again?
Yeah,
it's the richer getting richer. It's the evil getting eviler. It's just the way I see it is like UEFA should have stepped in first of all for the human rights. They should have been like, well, there's a red flag here.
100%.
Then the second thing would have been like, yeah, Ligue 1 doesn't have a salary cap. Sorry, we're putting a Champions League salary cap then. This cannot happen. And then on top of that, you have to be like, okay, well, let's up it up. Seeing COVID, let's put 5 guys that need to be British. Then it would be more even. Or 5 guys that need to be French, 5 guys that need to be Spanish. Yep. It's just really difficult to watch. And everybody's like, oh, I love Paris. Since when? 2012?
It's like the Man City fans.
I just see that Super League died because of the stupidity of the communication and the organization and leaving the fans out. Yeah. But as a fan, I don't see how UEFA is going to protect football.
UEFA has no strength.
I really think
UEFA. I mean, UEFA is just like FIFA. They follow the money.
Yeah,
right? Exactly. And I mean, it's like you said, the human rights situations for me, like when I look at the whole situation around Qatar, and even I'll take it something sooner, something more recent, even though I know the Qatari situation is ongoing. During the Europas this year, Germany, is June is Pride Month, said, hey, we want to light up our stadium, their beautiful Allianz Arena, with the rainbow flag. And UEFA said no. UEFA said no. And then they came up with this generic, nonsensical statement of how we are still trying to do things and be fair and be conscientious of everybody's rights for humanity and dignity. But this doesn't fall within our requirements for marketing or some garbage like that, making it seem like it's money and marketing, and rather than it being human rights. And this is the thing I don't understand and I do not like about UEFA and FIFA, and that is why they are falling apart. Simply because they do not care about soccer. They don't care about the fans, and they don't care about human beings. They only care about money. That's it. And it's very political. I was saying that one thing that needs to happen, if UEFA wants to save itself, give fans the ability to vote for the president. Give
Agreed.
fans
Yeah.
a quotient of voting. So say if you have to be a member of a football club, right? And then in Europe, and then say of 25% of those votes are going to go towards a certain president or something, 50%, something like that. Bring the
Yeah.
It has to be like you've been a fan of that club and registered since God knows wherever, and then you can have an absolute right to vote. You can't be a renter fan and have bought a jersey in 2012 and call yourself a Paris fan.
Nope.
You need to be a proper fan.
With a membership card. Yeah.
And the fact that Bayern doesn't do a lot of things. They remain quiet. They always kill their competition by acquiring German players, but they do it in a way that says, okay, if you're going to play for Germany, you're going to play for us. We are the best. That's how they're established.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, Barcelona tend to be the same, right? Can't say anything. But what they absolutely don't do is they make this monster team go above and over. And the fact that they intervene and say, sorry, how is this trio it's possible when COVID's happening? And I agree with you. With the whole thing that happened during the Euro, the racial abuse in Budapest, what just happened now? Like, have we not seen what happened to Sterling? Like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
What happened with UEFA? It's like there's just no way as a football fan this is going to survive another year. The Super League has to happen, and as you said, it has to be empowered by football fans. It cannot continue like this.
Yeah. And I hope they do that, because if they do it, the fans will back them up, and UEFA will crash and burn terribly, and then that's when we're going to see PSG and Qatar be like, you know what? This is not profitable for us anymore. There's no and the thing that
they would do worse, Jeff. They would do worse. I think they would create their own damn league. That's what I fear.
But
those guys.
What I don't understand about PSG is this: is with all the wages they have, even if they were to give this Mbappe contract they're trying to do, they think they're going to throw money at him and he's all of a sudden going to change his mind. There's a first of all,
45 million a year. 45 million a year.
There's a point in wealth where above it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. Change, right? And so for me, if you're going to go out of your way and have these ridiculous, let's say 45, 36, and 30, I think is what Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe would make if Mbappe signed on that ridiculous contract.
Yeah.
What's the return on that investment? There's no way, even if you win Champions League, you're making that kind of money back.
Well, the Messi shirts, though,
that's different. That's different.
But you also remember they didn't pay cash, right, for these players. These were all frees.
No.
When you think about the salaries,
but salaries are still part of FFP.
Salary and signing bonus, salary, signing bonus, and agent bonus. So you have to calculate those.
Goodness, agent bonus.
The agent bonus must be quite high. I mean, what Laporta was saying when he took over the club, he's like, we're paying some of these agent fees like 20 mil. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Like
all in. Raiola.
His dad, right?
He's paying his dad, his agent, $50 million.
It's just like, I'm sorry, but that has to be capped as well. That cannot continue to happen. And I agree with you, Jeff. It's just like, there's just no way it can continue to happen. And I know I noticed you put, Josh, you put City or PSG. I find it ironic. I would never say UEFA is rigged, but I find it very ironic
that they ended up on the same group.
Transfers are on the same bucket
for
TV rights in the year where we're not having enough, viewers in COVID. I find it very ironic. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
This was what happened to. Okay. Remember was it a couple of seasons ago when Ronaldo just went to Juve, and Barcelona, Juve just happened to be in the same group as well. It's like, what's going on here? That was my exact same reaction when I saw that. I was like, City and PSG, they're supposed to be in the finals, and having them in the same group. I know we're running out of time because the French game starts in about 10 minutes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's not like we have
just
a good lineup.
Sorry?
It's not like we have a good lineup. He's putting Martial as striker. I'm like,
is he really?
Martial and Greasy. Oh my goodness! Come on, man. He'll come good. Who is this new guy? Touchline.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's in midfield. He's an 18-year-old kid. It's his dream to start. So I'm keen to see how he does.
Oh, I'm surprised Camavinga didn't get a start. Is he injured?
He's playing under 20.
He's playing under 20. He got called up.
He got called under 20. Yeah, but it's funny, right? Because he could have gotten called up to the international for the senior team, right?
Yeah.
After just getting acquired by Real Madrid, which I think, and this is the thing, I know a lot of people hate Real Madrid because they think, oh, Madrid, all the Galacticos, all they care about is buying players. But Madrid has never been a team that has been like, oh, we're going to skirt financial fair play rules and then use our money to get lawyers to bail us out. Not once.
Yeah.
Chelsea's done it twice. CD has done it twice. PSG has done it every single year since Qatar owners acquired PSG. But yet and still, there's still a hate for Barcelona and Madrid. And even I'll say this, Barcelona, they never did the same thing either. What Barcelona did that was wrong, they just had an idiot, whatever you want to call him.
President, yeah.
Bartomeu, who just didn't understand that Denis Suarez isn't worth 20 million a year. So you shouldn't go buy him, and those sort of bad acquisitions because they couldn't figure out how to replace Iniesta and Xavi, when they were leaving. I'll put that in the back burner. Let me just get back to Madrid real quick. We lost 6. We have made a profit off of selling people. The last 4 transfer windows, the last time we made a transfer was a transfer above 50 million was Hazard.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And Ramos, we said, hey, we can't pay you the money you want. We can give you this reasonable contract. And it's very respectable. And what did he say? You know what? I want money. He came out and in his speech, he didn't say it, but that's exactly what it was. And he went to PSG, so told the truth. Varane, I want a challenge. You know what, Varane? We appreciate what you've done for us. Even the way Varane left was very respectable. Saying bye to his teammates, went to the training pitch. He was tearful. He went to Manchester United, a great team. We didn't just sell him to wherever we get the most money because, Ben White was bought for more than 50 million by Arsenal. I don't understand what Arsenal's doing. That's another day. And then you
see. Did you see Edu's comments?
No.
Edu's right. I'm not.
It's about
I'll go back. I'll go back to Jeff.
Sorry, go ahead.
Point.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Jeff.
I've never seen a club play players in cryptocurrency.
Are you serious? Is that what's happened?
That's what happened with Messi. It secured a bit of his funds in cryptocurrency. I'm like, sorry, where's FIFA Fair Play here? There's a new currency.
That's some boss moves.
So I'm like, it's just like you said, the lawyers and bailing them out of jail. That's what it's become. It's become the devil's advocate. That's what it is, literally.
Well, it's just like with our economic, political, capitalist system where the rich get richer and people, we're going to tax the rich. Like, no, they have more legal power than governments to buy themselves out of any trouble or situation that they have. And that's why the rich, you can never get their money. They keep moving it around because they have the money to and they have the power to. But one last thing I want to say, which, I'm very impressed with how Madrid has handled this summer. They went from everybody thinking we were as bad as Barca, which we never were, to having a profit of $200 million and putting it all on Mbappe. And I guarantee you Perez knew PSG wouldn't sell because PSG has more pride than they have money. They have way more pride than they have money, and they have stupid money. But all this time that was happening, everybody's like, oh, well, PSG is going to get Camavinga. And then what happened? Dude was playing chess. He knew we weren't going to get Mbappe. And then what does he do? The last day, PSG's focus is all on keeping Mbappe, making sure that the story is, PSG was focused more on the story on Mbappe staying or leaving than they were on his contract. They wanted to make sure that Paris knew the problem was Mbappe and Real Madrid and not PSG's inability to give Mbappe what he wanted or give Mbappe his dream and be that club where people can be like, you know what? I don't mind going there because you care about the players. No, they don't care about the players. They care about themselves and their pride, and they want to be the new gladiators, the new behemoths of European soccer. Camavinga, he's now in Real Madrid, 18 years old, 5 years. He's now our future Casemiro, Varane.
He was supposed. PSG wanted him for 3 or 4 years. They wanted this guy. They kept chasing him, and they wouldn't put the money down. And I find it very ironic that the moment Paris is like, "Sorry, we're not selling Mbappe," he's like, "Okay, cool, I'll go get Camavinga as well."
Yeah. Yep. I think that was always a plan B for Real Madrid. I think.
Well, that was it.
I think Plan A was communication.
Was coming.
That was communication. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plan A.
Oh, okay.
I think Plan B was Mbappe.
Yeah.
They knew they were. I don't think I think they were hoping he was going to go. They were optimistic, seeing that it's a 1-year contract. But apparently, as you said, pride. They don't need the money. Let's not talk about the human rights issue and all that crap. But I will say that, to me, if you're offering someone 45 million, he rejects it. It doesn't matter if you offer him 55 million a year. It means money is
Yeah.
not what he's chasing. So
Yeah.
let him go. Let him go.
Let him go, and he's gone. You know, now let's. Everybody should know Mbappe is gone. The only way you're going to get Mbappe is if you somehow give, you know, somehow make him feel like he's going to lead the future of the club. He can't. He's not. Messi,
No, he's not.
How's he going to take? How are you going to prove? How are you going to show a person when Messi's on your team that you're going to get, especially after Neymar left, to get out of his shadow?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then you have Neymar on top of it.
Well, Neymar knows. Neymar knows. He didn't go nowhere. He got them. He went there saying he wanted to be at a shadow. Boom, he's in Mbappe's shadow. Yep. Then all of a sudden he got injured. Now Messi comes along. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to play with him. Yeah, because you couldn't play without him anyways in the first place. You wouldn't have the money.
Exactly. Yeah, that is. Yeah, this is very interesting. Like the whole saga with transfers. But just to quickly
watch Madrid come back in January with a $100 million offer. Watch.
Yeah, that was the
point.
They
rejected, and they'll reject it until January 31st. They'll be like, "No, sorry, 6 months ago." He'll be like, "Well, you said
we'll take it now."
No, I guarantee. Well, they can negotiate with him from January 1st. So they don't need to.
January 1st. I think they'll do it. They'll do it out of courtesy.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Because you know what Madrid was doing?
You still didn't say yes.
Because they don't need to, because they've shown Mbappe that they are willing to make him the future. Right?
He is.
And by putting all this money down, they've shown him that. And so Mbappe is going to continue to say no to these contracts. And all Mbappe needs to do is manage how he plays on the field, so that all that PSG is going to do to control the communication, that he can easily maneuver around it. Madrid is not coming back into this game, because what's going to happen is they're going to do what they did with Alaba, and they're going to sign. There's going to be rumors about it happening. No one's going to know the terms, and everyone's going to be like, okay, of course. But it's going to be kept quiet as to how, what the money is, what the contract is. It's going to come in January, and we're going to bring Haaland as well. And then we're going to say to PSG, screw you. All that we did this summer, we re-signed Casemiro, Thibaut Courtois. We re-signed all our futures. We secured them, Benzema, so that PSG can't come in and try to swipe them in January
or do like an exchange
or in the summer, right?
Yeah,
and so now PSG and Madrid are no longer friends. They're no longer frenemies. Sorry, before they were frenemies. Now PSG hates Spain. They've hated Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
They hate Spain now. Tabas, the La Liga president, hates PSG.
They've destroyed Barcelona. It's just like, oh God.
Fully destroyed. No, I'll say this: they didn't destroy Barcelona. Barcelona destroyed themselves, because they had $200 million that they mismanaged completely. How are you going to let Suarez go and bring in Griezmann after you bring in Griezmann after just one bad season?
Yeah,
how do you let Suarez go? Barcelona's problem is their problem. PSG started the fall of everything, because all they needed to do was tell Neymar, hey, Neymar, don't go. You are the future. Stay here. Get Messi to talk to him. But that whole scenario, and then like how Neymar sued Barcelona, and a lot of people have left Barcelona this year and have talked about how Barcelona mistreated them, how Barcelona treated them like they were just paper.
Yeah.
We can go through it. Elax, who went to RB Leipzig. Emerson, who just quickly left to Spurs. So many people. Griezmann on a loan went back to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, that was wild.
The front office of Barcelona is in shambles.
I agree that the previous president had no clue what he was doing. The shambles of players. Apparently, the rumor was that Neymar announced at Messi's wedding, which was the summer of that transfer, that he wanted to change, completely club, and which was a surprise to Messi. Is it true or not? I don't know. We weren't going to give him more money because Messi was the highest salary. He wanted to have more, and apparently he had decided he wants to go because PSG were doing everything to lure him. They did everything to lure Messi during the last transfer season when he requested to leave. I think, as you said, PSG hates Spain. They've gone after them for a very long time. Now Barcelona, through their own goddamn fault, have done everything wrong. Real Madrid have some serious debt, but I think they're very smart about it because they sold all their players quicker than what Barcelona does.
Yeah.
Barcelona should have done what Real Madrid did 3 years ago. If they sold Suarez, they should have sold Griezmann. They should have gotten rid of Messi. They should have said, yes, done. Sorry, we rather see Messi at City for 200 mil than stay here and go broke for another 4 years.
Yes,
that's what they should have done.
Yes,
and they didn't.
And they lost them for free.
They lost them for free.
Yeah,
and it's not really if that's the core fans. It's not really Barcelona. It's really the damn president before that's just totally mismanaged the situation, buying players we didn't need. Dembele, that just was a waste of time. But I agree with you. It's a self-inflicted wound. What I will say, last point on this, is because you brought up a good point about Haaland. I actually think Haaland is the same thing as Neymar with his agent. I am not too sure Haaland. I am not too sure Real Madrid would benefit from having Haaland and Benzema and Mbappe, because he seems to me as though he prefers to be the face of the franchise. I actually see him, in my view, going to City to follow his father's footsteps, seeing the money, seeing everything. I think Paris, if they lose Mbappe, they will go all in for Haaland, offer him ridiculous salary, saying, you're the face of the future. I actually see him taking his father's footsteps and saying, I'll do what my father couldn't do, win Champions League with City. If he really wants to play in Spain, then he knows he's going to have to play in Mbappe's shadow.
Let me put it this way. I think Mbappe and Haaland can work together in a way that Mbappe and Neymar couldn't, because Mbappe doesn't have pride and Haaland doesn't have pride.
What do you do with Benzema, though? What do you
do with Benzema? Benzema just has one more year. Benzema's gone in 2023. Let me put it this way. Benzema played in the top 3 with Bale and Ronaldo. There's no bigger ego in the world than Ronaldo. And then there's no second biggest ego that is not needed than Bale, right? Benzema single-handedly recruited Mbappe this summer, right? And he can Haaland and the thing about Haaland, he can play wide. Like the top 3 can rotate very seamlessly. Ancelotti is a very, very good coach. And I don't see Haaland as prideful. I don't see Mbappe as prideful. I see them as, we want to win above everything.
Yeah,
these guys have they've adopted the mentality of Ronaldo and Messi of, we want to win above everything. Money comes after, because they know you win, you get the money, you get the clout, you get the marketing. And I don't see. Pep Guardiola came out 2 weeks ago or a week ago saying, after 2023, after his contract is done, he's leaving. He's going to take a break, like he did after Barcelona, and then he's going to go coach international.
Pep is always fishing for more money. I love the guy, I really do,
but then he came back and said, "Oh, I didn't really mean it that way."
I don't. And let me put it this way, Yves. If City wanted him, or if he really wanted to go to City, why wouldn't they just go for him this summer for the 150 they were trying to get Kane for? Because Dortmund said, we're not selling for less than 150. You would have gotten a future. Also, not to mention, like you said, his dad played there. I honestly don't think that really matters. Your Kelechi said the same thing, Josh, that his dad played in City. Why would he not go to City? I'm like, I don't think City has that history. I don't think City has that pull. The moment Pep is gone, that's it. City has no future. City doesn't have any history to say that, hey, we have this winning team. No, winning the Premier League doesn't create this clout. Chelsea has a future beyond City. Yeah. United has a future beyond City. Why? Because they win in Europe. They dominate in Europe. They've had a series of being competitive. Just being competitive in Premier League, even though it's the most competitive league, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to pull players. Yeah, you're going to be able to keep players because you have more money in that league than God knows where in the world. But again,
you have the best coach at the moment.
I don't see it. I just don't see the whole City pull. That's it for me. Also, I am biased, so.
I know you're biased, and if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, oh, he's coming to the Barca because we have no
He's
stars.
definitely not going to Bayern. That's for sure. We all agree on that.
Oh no,
Well,
definitely.
here's the funny part about that. Here's the funny part about the Bayern situation. In 2022, all the clubs will be able to afford his transfer. It's 75 mil. Pretty much every club, including Barcelona, now having sold and saved, they'll be able to afford 78 mil. The real debate will be salary, his agent, and where does he see himself? Bayern could afford 78, find it reasonable, and say, hey, this is the salary we offer. If you want to win in Germany, this is what we offer. City could be like, shit, we don't have a striker. We need this guy all in, plus his father. We can play on that emotion. I don't think Man U will have a chance seeing with Cristiano Ronaldo, but they'll go in. They will go in. So
Everybody will go.
He has
So will
close ties with
Chelsea.
Ole, right?
He does.
That's what they say. So
will Chelsea. Chelsea will go in. If PSG really lose Mbappe,
I don't think Chelsea will go in. You can't go in after you got Lukaku for 110.
You'd be surprised. They will sell Werner to Bayern most likely. Try and go for.
Yeah.
But like, how are you going to pull and how's it going to work? How are you going to tell him that he's number one?
But that's
City has the best. City has the best pull, and yeah. I mean, not even PSG. Really, City. You're right. City has the best pull in terms of you are number one striker.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see Chelsea in that. I don't see Chelsea because Chelsea has never really had that.
They've never had.
Every team has that what's it called? The poster boy. Like Chelsea has never really had that, whereby they focused on marketing the player.
Hazard was their poster boy.
I mean,
Hazard was kind of like he was their best player, but he wasn't really like their poster boy.
Pogba was their poster boy.
I think their managers have always been a bigger poster boy than any player.
Exactly. I think it's had a group of good players. Conte actually had one that they've singled out and said, "You're going to be the face of our club," and sell shirts and stuff like that. I don't think Chelsea has ever really.
The way I see it is that I think City will have the best pull. I think
I will agree with that.
PSG will do their absolute maximum. I think Barca will go in and say, sorry, we're
part
of the rebuild. You'll be this. This is what we can afford. Laporta will do all he can with his connection with Raiola.
Yeah, it won't work though.
And then Real Madrid will do the same. And they'll say, listen, we have Mbappe. This is what we can offer. And then he'll make the choice. If he chooses Real Madrid, he knows that he has to work with Mbappe and not have that ego. If he goes to City, it's his ego and he's a star. If he goes to Barcelona, he has to be patient for at least a year or two. If he goes to PSG, he knows he's never getting out.
He knows he's never getting out. And he knows he has the most unbalanced team.
It's the movie Get Out. It's the movie Get Out.
Unbalanced team.
It's the movie Get Out.
Free Holland.
Yeah, Nassau will be there with his little T from Get Out. He'll be like, you ain't going nowhere, son. Sorry, you're staying here forever. We'll sign you forever.
But I think the quickest way for La Liga to bounce back, because right now, let's face it, La Liga is in the water right now, man. Like just in terms of appeal. But the quickest way La Liga can get back, to the El Clasico era is basically Mbappe signing with Real Madrid and Haaland signing with Barca. Now we have another El Clasico on our hands again. I think that would be. I don't know if that's how feasible that is, but I think that would be.
I agree with you. If you want to save La Liga, those two have to be separated. If you want to have a rebuild of a team, you need those two, and you're dominating for the next 10 years. It all depends how you swing it. It really all depends on how you swing it.
One thing, there's two things we forgot. Number one is City. You just bought Jack Grealish by breaking the record, right? So Grealish is now. Now you have Grealish, you have De Bruyne who's still there. You have a lot of good talent there in City. You also have.
Sorry, I think your connection is bad. Yves, can you hear Jeff?
No, I can hear Jeff, man.
Okay, so it's just on my end. Okay, you can continue. Yeah.
The issue for City for me is that if he goes there and Pep is there, there's no stars on Pep's team.
Oh, no.
There's no pride on Pep's team, right? I don't think Haaland would work because think about it. Haaland reminds me of Ibrahimovic, who Pep Guardiola hated. Pep Guardiola did not, and Pep Guardiola is going to try to change Haaland. Haaland does not play with this tiki-taka stuff. Haaland will play with players and will work together. He wants someone like Kane, who can drop and play as a cam. Haaland can't play that way. That's why Pep Guardiola would never grab a Lukaku. That's why Pep Guardiola would never grab a Ronaldo. That's why Pep Guardiola would never grab an Mbappe or a Neymar, right? And this is the situation. Even though Neymar would really work, Neymar, a humble Neymar, would probably become the best player in the world under Pep than anybody else. Just simply because of his ability and his talent and his capacity. But again, I don't. My only thing about La Liga and Messi, and Barcelona, Real Madrid is this. I think everybody is underestimating La Liga this year. You know, the La Liga has always been competitive in Europe, be it Europa or Champions League. And I think people are forgetting that Barcelona has a particular style of play that is not gone by losing Messi. Barcelona's problem is defense. If Barcelona was to secure their defense, their fullbacks, Dani Alves, Jordi Alba, that era, when they were dominating, they had the best fullbacks in the world. That era when we were dominating, we had the best fullbacks in the world in Marcelo and Carvajal, right? PSG has never dominated because they never had good fullbacks. Bayern Munich, when they dominated, who do they have? They had Davies, they had Kimmich on the right, or else they had Alaba, right? Yeah. And this is the situation. City, Walker, Cancelo, right? United right now, I think, is a problem because they have Wan-Bissaka, who's matured, and they have Shaw, who has evolved, right? And Chelsea, come on, let me not even get started with Chelsea. Chelsea for me, I need to save some face here, because give me a second on this, Yves, because in the fall, I'm with you. I was anti-Chelsea. I was anti-Chelsea. I said a lot of garbage to those fans watching. I said a lot of garbage about Tuchel. I denied Tuchel. I denied everything about him. I'm here to say I was wrong. I have not. I do not have.
You heard Jeff. Jeff was not having it with Tuchel.
Tuchel is a phenomenal coach. Phenomenal coach. I still have questions about how long he can do this for in terms of management of egos and prides, because eventually it's going to get there. It's going to get there. Oh, yeah. Now, Chelsea for me is a team to beat in England and in Europe altogether. Agreed. The next team to beat after that should be City. I just don't trust Pep Guardiola over a full season. I don't trust their
non-striker. Yeah, I don't trust their non-striker formats. I think
unless Jesus becomes some legend.
Well, which so far he started on a. He has
he's no Greenwood, right?
He's no Greenwood. I think he's got like how many assists now? He's like, man, the last game he was on fire.
He was.
Yeah. I think Chelsea is the team to beat. I agree. If I look at Europe, it'll be. I still think Bayern was top team.
100%.
Bayern a top team. I think if Inter hadn't lost all those stars, I would have said Inter would have been really difficult. Hakimi, Lukaku, Martinez, those guys would have been Barella. Those guys are tough.
Oh my goodness!
But
I wish they stayed one more season to see how they would have.
It's COVID. This is COVID. This is COVID. A normal team that is rich and backed by China should have been affected like this. But because they're state-owned, you end up with Paris. If they were a proper investor, this is what would have happened to them. They would have lost Mbappe and Neymar because they would have said, sorry, we can't afford them. You got to keep one. But they didn't. So...
And that's the difference with Chelsea, right? Because Chelsea hadn't spent any money for like 2 transfer windows. On top of it, they won Champions League, right? Like they had a lot of revenue and they had a lot of savings, right? They didn't have high wages because they didn't have all those glorious players. So they had ability to have 2 good, solid transfer windows despite COVID. City only needed 2 people, right? They only needed a striker, and they didn't need Grealish. I'm sorry.
Grealish
was the worst decision for me. If you're not going to sell Bernardo Silva, and all you're doing is stunting the growth of people like Foden. What's Foden going to do? Where are you going to play Foden?
I was actually going to ask. What happened to Foden? He's just gone under the radar now.
No, he's injured.
He's injured. Okay.
I think Foden is Pep's pet project. I think he thinks he's going to turn into a Messi, but not in the Prem, my friend. And I think City's biggest downfall this summer has been their cockiness to think that they could have gotten Kane.
Yes. Yeah. They should have went for Lewandowski. I keep saying that if you're gonna do things for like 1 or 2 years, you go and get Lewandowski. You go and get some, but the problem with Pep, he wants strikers who can play on the ball, who can move around and take. That's why he had the audacity to play De Bruyne as a false nine in the Champions League final against Chelsea. What did Tuchel do? Tuchel said, I'm winning. I'm playing chess. You're playing checkers. Are you crazy? You can play without a striker, a number 9, and without a holding mid. Are you insane?
And everybody was like,
total football. Get out of here, man.
Well, it's Pep. It's what I think it was a hard one, man. Because I think if you pulled it off, we would have been talking about how Pep.
But you can. In the modern era of football, you can't. When
Jeff,
you have fullbacks that are gunning, you need a holding mid. And then you have Conte on the other team. You're crazy, man. Without a striker, you're crazy.
Pep knew they had some of the best midfields out there. So what he should have done is just hold and continue on a different route. He went in a route that completely blew in his face. And I think that's why Chelsea are the team to beat. Not only did they get stronger over the summer, back from winning Champions League, they're getting stronger for the Prem as well.
Yep.
So I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah, they're definitely the favorites this season. I'm looking at it. Obviously, Jeff and I are La Liga fans. If we look at La Liga, if Atletico Madrid don't win by like 10 points, then they really don't know how to manage their club as well. So it'll be very interesting how they manage. Because they have now Felix, Suarez, Griezmann, and Jesus Christ.
But let me put it this way. I think people are sleeping on Real Madrid because we still do have Gareth Bale who has stuff on him. Hazard.
I think Barcelona have found their mechanism. Youth and guys that are hold for a year, hoping that we qualify and win would be a dream. Right now. I think Real Madrid are like, we're aiming to win. If we don't win, we'll win it next year, but we're for sure getting up there for qualifying. Exactly. Athletic Madrid will never get this other opportunity to win at this level. If they do not win this year, that is it for them. Griezmann's coming at the age of 31. Felix isn't the future, clearly.
No chance.
Suarez is coming of age, and if Real Madrid are really getting Mbappe, correct. And if Mbappe really is going to Real Madrid and potentially Haaland coming as well, Atletico Madrid are not going to be there for a long time.
But even if Haaland doesn't come to if Haaland doesn't come to La Liga, be it Madrid, be it Barcelona, Atleti are screwed.
I think so too. I really think so, and that's why I'm like.
And they lost Saul.
Oh yeah, they did.
On the last day. Got that much stronger.
I would have never sold Saul. I will never get that.
You lose Partey one summer, and then the next summer you lose Saul. Are you insane? I mean, they didn't bring in that Argentinian. They brought in that Argentinian, right? The one who I forgot his name. He did well for Argentina in the Copa.
Romero.
Yes.
Okay.
So no, that's the thing, right? They should. I guarantee you, this is their best opportunity. But I still think that the top and if you look at the top, they did a thing on the top 5 leagues in terms of quotient. EPL is there, and then it's La Liga.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Because Bundesliga is just Bayern, Serie A is just Juventus. Even more so now that AC Milan got gutted and that Inter Milan got gutted, and then Ligue 1 is Ligue 1. It does not exist. You just have PSG, and then you have a bunch of other teams who, if PSG wasn't there, would be probably the most competitive league if PSG wasn't there.
Oh, I fully agree. You take away PSG, who's the cancer of that league, and that league will turn into a dominated era of football. You would have seen them go over Bayern because those top 3 teams would be constantly fighting. It's just like, I agree with you.
Yeah, but I do agree with that.
I know, Josh, we didn't speak about Champions League. So
we covered it, man.
On my end,
you guys talked about your favorites, and that's really what it was about.
On my end, if I look at that Group A, PSG have the upper hand because on paper. If I look as a team, I think City will do better as a team, honestly. But I think Paris have the better squad on paper. Yeah. Because they still haven't figured out how to play. They haven't had their full squad yet. Their games they're playing in Ligue 1 are weak, versus City is already playing some tough games, and they're already playing as a team. They have to find other solutions because they don't have a striker. So I think if I look at that first game, City has the upper hand in terms of being a team with that coach. If I look at Bayern versus Barca, you know my answer. Give a white
Probably
flag.
Bayern.
There's no way we're not gonna win Leipzig.
Nagelsmann has stepped up. Nagelsmann
Well,
is a
he
very
won his
good coach.
first
He reminds me
trophy,
of Tuchel.
so yeah, he won
Well,
it. He won his first trophy, so
they got Leipzig's best midfielder. They got the captain. They got Leipzig's coach, and they
Yeah,
got Leipzig's best defender, which is
defender.
Upamecano. So you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, Bayern are obviously on a different level, and they've got stronger.
Didn't they also get that other guy, the guy with the long hair from Leipzig? Is he a defender?
Yeah, he does.
Upamecano was his
No,
name,
not
though.
Upamecano, the other one.
The Austrian. Yeah, that's their
The
captain.
Austrian.
By the way.
That's the cat. He took the captain armband.
Coach,
Or Leipzig,
captain, defender.
Leipzig captain. But he plays defender, doesn't he?
Bayern took their best 3 players
Yeah, in one season, the coach.
in one season. Coach, captain, and defender. I mean, you have to look at it and be like,
It's a joke. It's a joke in Germany, that's for sure.
But Leipzig is still competing. This is the crazy thing I don't understand about PSG. You don't need to buy champions. You don't need to buy titles. Real Madrid used to. There was an era where we did that. We call it the Galacticos, and we overspent, right? But then
it was the one year you didn't win Champions League, right?
Yep.
And that's
then
what
they didn't win the league as well.
We adjusted. We said, you know what? We only need a few Galacticos. We don't need a team of Galacticos. Ramos became a Galacticos in Real Madrid after getting destroyed by Messi, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. He grew up, right? Bale became a Galactico. Everybody said, yeah, he shouldn't leave. He shouldn't leave Spurs. He's a great, but he became who he was in Real Madrid. Ronaldo was a Galactico.
So did
Kaká was a Galactico.
Modric left Spurs, won a Golden Ball, had an amazing World Cup.
Yeah,
Carvajal. We built, and that's now we have Miguel Gutierrez, the left back, who's now competing with Mendy on the left, right? Yep. We have a right back. What's his name? I forgot his name, but we have a right back who's coming up now, a youth. We have Blanco as a holding mid who's coming up. We have youth players who are growing up, right?
That's what I was gonna say about Real Madrid is
even Benzema wasn't a Galacticos.
You have to look at Real Madrid like that, and you have to look at Barcelona. That's what they should have done. And now we have those players, but the problem is they're lacking 1 or 2 seasons of being mature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barcelona, your future. Yo, hold on. One quick question on Barcelona. Why is Koeman benching that other young guy, not Pedri?
Ricky Puig.
What's up with that?
From my understanding, Koeman doesn't like his attitude of Mr. Flashy Dashy outside the life and Mr. I'm innocent when I'm playing. Apparently, there's something that's going on off field that he's not liking.
Oh.
From what I'm understanding is that's what's issue. But I will say that Laporta is a big fan of him, and he's definitely playing this year. So there will be conditions for Koeman to stay.
I'm concerned. Koeman better wake up because people that have left have talked a lot of smack about him. One obviously being Pjanic.
Yeah.
But I agree with Pjanic. I don't know how you can have a post match training, high intensity training, and not watch. These aren't just youth players. These are people who have made them names for themselves. Give them a reason why you're not talking to. I agree 100% with Pjanic. 100%.
But that you have to look at. You have to look at Laporta. He came in and he got stuck with a coach that he can't fire because the firing fee is too high. So he's like, okay, you'll stay another year, but your conditions are changing. Now there's this, and this, and I think he's going to be like, hey, you need to play our formation. You need to play Puig. You need to play youth, and etc. If Koeman doesn't do it, he's going to fire him on those pretenses. And then you won't have to pay those clauses because those are the conditions you sign.
Yeah.
So I think Laporta has a plan for Koeman, and I think it'll be Xavi. It will not be Koeman for very long, personally.
Yeah, and it needs to be. I think one thing I will say about Xavi is that I think Xavi should come to Europe for a year.
Yeah, agree.
And I think for at least
coaching Ligue 1.
Coaching Ligue 1 even.
Take Lille and see if you can beat Paris. Then come to Barca.
Yeah. You should do that, because like the whole thing with Raul, Zidane was. I'm telling you, Zidane was one of those, like, if it didn't work out that 1 year, he was gone, and then it worked out because Zidane knows how to manage egos. He knows how to manage superstars. He's not that solid of a coach. He has his strategies, but he doesn't have good tactics. He doesn't know how to maneuver, and I just couldn't understand, for me, how he played Ramos. Just came off that knee surgery. He played Mendy, who hadn't recovered, against a Chelsea team, and you play three in the back. Like it made no sense. You change your whole system all of a sudden when you had a good run of form, and then you don't play Vasquez. Like it was just a lot of these crazy decisions. I think I think that's what happened to Lampard. He shouldn't have went and coached Chelsea right away. I'm looking forward to Gerrard when he goes to Liverpool. He is going to show, man. I'm very excited for him. He's probably the most excited I've ever been for a coach, a player turned coach.
Oh wow! Okay, you're rating him like that.
I'm highly rating him because he's doing it the right way, and he always had the right attitude. His humility and his character had the ability to be a solid coach. Yeah, he's charismatic like Klopp, right? He's charismatic like Klopp. He's smart like Pep. But he's also got a history like the Zidanes, right? Where players would want to play with him, players would want to come to Liverpool, even though Liverpool is not banging with the money contract like City and stuff.
Yeah, but it's made me respect those smaller clubs like Leicester City and stuff like that.
Yes,
it's made me respect that. And I will say this year, it's the first time as a football fan that I'll say I'm not entertained with the clubs trying to be NBA franchises.
Oh
it's
my God.
It's not fun to watch. And it's come to the point where it is not the NBA. We are football. We like youth. We like entertainment. We like to see these new guys coming up. Barcelona, I will say that we have great youth. We just need a coach that understands them.
Yep.
And I'm not too sure Koeman is the right guy. Honestly.
Yeah, he's done better than what was the other guy before? I forgot his name.
Let's not even talk about
it. Yeah, he's done the best since Enrique. I will say this though. Really, what should be happening? I just want to just talk about Arsenal just for 30 seconds, guys. Yeah. Arsenal should fire Arteta and go and grab what's his name that just won with Italy. That's what they should do.
I mean, like
not Conte. Mancini, because he has a system. He has a system, and he's still and he's going through that point of retribution, right? Where he won't be demanding all that pay, and he won't demand a team that has that is established and is ready in Europe. He needs that ability to build up a team, and Arsenal is that. Conte won't come to this Arsenal. Not this Arsenal, because again, he wants money, and you've already gone and spent money on Arteta because you believe in this process, which doesn't exist. And then there's really no other coach besides Mancini that I think Roberto Martinez. He still hasn't. I'm not sold on him. Gerrard won't come there. And then I don't know really who else there is. And that you can grab from, like, let's say an international team. Oh, Joaquin Low. I don't know where he is right now, but he's available. Maybe he'll want to build himself up.
I wouldn't.
That's all I'm going to say about Arsenal.
I wouldn't go that far.
I will say you make a good point on Mancini. I think Conte will want money for sure.
Conte will want money. Money to come and then money to spend.
I do like that coach from Nice that won with Lille. It's a shame he signed. It's a shame he signed. I would have signed him if I was Arsenal. I'd be like, hey, French club, French history. You got some French players. Let's get this rolling again. I think Arsenal bought players that will need time, and the problem is the Prem is too high level.
You don't have the time.
There's no time. Yeah, like you guys can make your.
Before you know it, you end up like Sunderland. It's scary.
Yeah,
it's just like you don't have that time. So Arsenal to buy these youth guys, I'm like. Wenger managed with the baby gunners, but now it's just like now is not the time to continue down the road. And it's going to be a tough year for Arsenal personally to watch them as a semi fan. It'll definitely be hard to watch them.
That's why, I do not even wake up for Arsenal anymore. I don't change the channel to Arsenal. I'm just wait. I won't watch. I said I'm not going to watch Arsenal intentionally until Arteta is figured out. Whether you get rid of him or he figures himself out, I think
Arteta should have left.
I'm too old to have these hard conversations just for soccer.
And that's the thing I don't really get, right? Is I was talking to Cal's on the phone the other day, just after his surgery, and we were talking about that. Is what is the Arsenal was a football club talking to their fans. What is the target? What is the goal for this season? Like, what can they articulate? You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing to tell Edu
What
can
is
come
the
out and
goal?
say the fans should be patient. How much longer can you be patient for as a fan? It's been 10 years in the making that Arsenal hasn't really been on the top level,
I think
right? And
Arsenal
then you're
it's a
still
club
buying
that
youths and saying believe in the process. What process, right?
the thing
So
is
at some point,
no top player is willing to go there.
yeah, at some point, the club needs to come out and say, okay,
Willian ripped up his
where
20
is this
million a
money
year
going? Like,
contract.
what is the plan? Like, what is the goal for the season? Is it just to finish middle of the table? Is that what the club is happy to do? They need to
You know
come out
what's
and say
sad?
it, right? Like,
What's sad is listening to the fans now. I was watching, I think BBC Sport or something like that, and they were saying, "Oh, how do you feel about losing to your rival?" And he's like, "What rival? Our rival is Brighton." And I
Our
was like,
rival is Brighton. Yes, I remember that.
"Wow,
yeah,
wow." You know that hurt as a football fan when you watch the era of Henry, Vieira, Sol Campbell, seeing them in Champions League versus Barcelona. You're like, that team was lethal and should have won.
yeah,
And now you see them, you're like, oh, they have a beautiful stadium, they have great history, they should be at the top. It's just so sad to watch sometimes, but it
yeah.
is part of football, and I think they'll get up, but not with Arteta. I'm
Not
Yeah,
with
sorry,
they need
Arsenal.
something
no
needs to
way.
change. Whether it's the board, whether it's the whether it's the owners or the coach,
Well,
something needs to
it's
change
it's
because
it's Arteta and the new guy they brought in Edu, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
Edu. Yeah,
Yep, they need to. Those two need to go. That's it, like, how are you,
it'll
Edu?
be
How are
clear this
you
season, right, Jeff?
accepting? Sorry,
It'll be clear this season, Jeff. Like
it'll be
if they
clear.
hit mid-table, they're both gone. No
And
chance.
yeah,
I just don't understand how you sign off on these acquisitions when this is a lot of money you're spending on these basic players, and I didn't understand it. You re-sign
Odegaard.
Emil Smith Rowe. You
Yeah.
re-sign him because you're going to lose him. You re-sign him. You give him the number 10 jersey, and what do? The whole summer you're just chirping about how you want Odegaard back. What do you think that's going to do to a youth player? And then
yeah.
you bring Odegaard back. Where's Emil Smith Rowe going to play? You're gonna play Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, and Odegaard. No wonder why you get scored on so many times, because none of those players are
Can
defensively
defend.
sound.
Yeah,
None of those players are going to think I need to track back. And then you have fullbacks and defenders who are garbage, right? You're playing Chambers as right back after you systematically shunned Bellerin, which fine, I get it, but then you replace him. Maitland-Niles, you've talked about how he the things he was saying. Yeah, he was saying you don't believe in me, and I want to play, so I'm going to leave. Don't be mad because people are leaving, that you're not given the opportunity to to do things, right? So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Arsenal. To
No,
answer
and
your question about
I think what you're suffering from Arsenal is what I'm suffering in Barcelona. I'm nervous about the future, but I think as an Arsenal fan, it's been like that for 10 years. And you're nervous and you're like, okay, there really hasn't been a dramatical change. And I think at Man U, yet last year, Josh, we were talking about it. You were furious with your coach, etc.
where
But it panned out because now all of a sudden it's had a massive change. If I look at all the
but
clubs,
Ole had coached in a lower league. Ole had coached somewhere else. We didn't go from assistant to coaching a team who should be top four. That's the
right?
difference, right? So Ole has been he has experiences that Arteta won't have, that Arteta is going to now learn and hurt Arsenal from it. Ole
yeah.
didn't have to go through those hurtings, right? Because he was smart. He's like, I need a Bruno Fernandes. Go ahead and grabbed him under the radar. I will say every transfer window, Ole has done very well, and I will say that, except for the whole situation with what's his name,
Van de Beek.
Van de Beek. That's his biggest and only. Oh, and Telles. I don't know what's happening with Telles right now.
I think Van
Yeah,
de Beek was
Tellez
a
is
panic buy.
injured, but we
It was a
know
panic
even if
buy.
he was fit, we've talked about it, right? Rotation is not Ole's strong suit, so yeah,
So to just go back to Champions League real quickly. I think I will pick City over PSG, because PSG for me lacks in two areas: fullbacks, and in the modern game you get destroyed if your fullbacks aren't good. And second, and because they got Hakimi, but they didn't fix their left side when they're trying to get Teo.
Hakimi doesn't play RB though at Inter. That's what I kept saying to the Paris fans. He played RN. So
Exactly.
he played a winger.
He played a full wing back, like literally full wing back. Pochettino doesn't play that way. Pochettino
No, he
needs
doesn't.
his fullbacks. Okay, let's see what happens. The second place they lack.
If I was Hakimi, I'd be like, sorry guys, I played RM. Where are you putting now?
Well, in fact, what they should have done was went and grabbed Reguilon from Spurs
Tottenham,
if they wanted the left back. That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that PSG didn't go and grab Marcelo. They like all these big names and all this stuff. And the other place that they lack, holding mid. They have Verratti, they have Gini, but they do not. I couldn't believe 2 seasons ago. When I say this, Conte. Why didn't they go get Conte? Who?
Conte. No, Conte said no. I'll give Conte.
Oh, he said no.
The biggest respect. I'll give Conte the biggest respect. He said no to them, even though they offered more money than what Chelsea was giving him.
Fernandinho. Why didn't they go get Fernandinho then? Fernandinho was ready to leave City. He stayed at City to at a lower pay cut coming off the bench. They just needed somebody who was a holding mid who had either experience or had quality. Instead, they're like, oh, we're gonna grab Camavinga, and then no. If you want to win now and the next 3 years, you need a holding mid and you need fullbacks that can defend and can go into the opposing final third.
I think their dream is Wijnaldum. I think they think he's really going to do it. I personally don't think he's that a good Wijnaldum.
Ronaldo?
Yeah, Ronaldo. Yeah.
You're talking about Gini Ronaldo?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure. I was like, is there another guy I didn't know about?
No. It's the way we call it in Spain.
Really?
It's like
they think he's not a holding mid.
He's in my point. So they really think that's the guy. And I'm telling you this. I've seen him at Liverpool. There's a reason he went free.
Yeah.
There's a reason he went free. It's like we needed him at Barcelona because we were broke.
Yeah.
But there's a reason he went free. The only great transfer they made free, like proper free, was the goalkeeper.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Donnarumma. Oh my goodness.
I'm like, why did United just go for that guy? You know what I mean? We're talking about Henderson and De Gea. It's like, guys, just go for this guy. He's here.
But Donnarumma. But I will say this: Donnarumma. If it wasn't for the Euros, he would not. He still had a lot of question marks in terms of not necessarily his ability, but whether he was ready. He showed playing with Italy, he got that opportunity. Also, his head game. He wasn't really mature in AC Milan, and he kept on trying to go with money. Mino Raiola.
He's not going to be mature at Paris.
And this is the situation, right? He's going to get his money, but he's now in a golden jail. I don't think he knows that. I don't know if he cares. But again, he's never going to leave, right? And I don't know. Honestly, Josh, you guys are better off with a Dean Henderson for the future and a De Gea for the present. You are way better off, to be very honest, than Donnarumma. But Donnarumma is their best free agent signing by far, even ahead of Messi.
Yeah,
because Messi will not stay beyond the 3 years.
And Messi was a luck minute thing.
Yeah, luck.
They really went out and got that goalkeeper, so I'll give him that. Hakimi was like, yeah, great. You have that extra winger because Di Maria is not going to play every. And then they went ahead and got Messi, and I'm like, where is Hakimi going to play? There's no space for him in the trio in the top.
You can play in the fullback.
Yeah, and you just play fullback. He's going to be like, guys, I'm bored as hell here. Where's the ball?
Yeah.
It's like it's not for him, so it'll be interesting for sure. I agree with Jeff. I say City over PSG.
Yeah, I say City over PSG, and also because City has been like Pep has. How many times has Pep gone to the pinnacle of the mountain and been tossed down? If he doesn't get it now, when is he ever going to get it? He has everything. He has everything he needs. The only thing you can say is he doesn't have a striker, but he should not need to win. He should not need a striker to win. With the squad he has, he should not need a striker to win. Jesus should be able to fill that gap. That's it for City. In terms of Bayern and Barcelona, for sure Bayern. But I think people should not sleep on Barcelona. People should not sleep on the team focus Barcelona. I don't think Barcelona has ever been more of a team than right now. Maybe when they had the Suarez, the Messi, and the Neymar, and they had that massive, Iniesta was still there. They had that, Dani Alves was in his peak and form. Jordi Alba, like that was the last time they were a full solid team.
Then it just became the Messi show.
Right now, Barcelona is, for me, I'm more concerned about Barcelona than I am of Atleti, only because Barcelona is actually a solid team. And they just need defenders. That's it.
Yeah,
I think you are right. It's the first time they're a team, so it'll be interesting to watch if Coleman doesn't screw us up.
Well, that's it.
I think that's what it is now. It's gonna be. I think it's with all these super teams. Just before we wrap up, guys, with all these super teams, I think the coach is going to make is going to make the difference. I think, because you look at all these teams now.
I will say, if
like
Poch doesn't
Chelsea.
win,
Sorry,
if Poch doesn't win with that team, I'm sorry, I will never able to respect
Oh yeah.
Pochettino ever.
Well, he's coming. He's coming to Arsenal then.
Yeah, if he doesn't win with his team, then you can cross his name off the greatest, because that is it for me. You can't have a team like this and be able to lose it. He should come up with solutions, saying, okay, you have to come back, and etc. As a fan, we know he's going to bottle it.
But he'll need more than 1 year. He'll need more than one season though.
Oh,
because he's never had this sort of pride ego.
He won't have Mbappe.
Yeah, but he'll have Messi. He'll have Neymar still. He also have
Correct.
Ramos. He also have Hakimi. He also have Gini. He also have Verratti. He whether Mbappe leaves or stays, I agree with you 100%. If he doesn't win in the next two, if he doesn't win before Messi leaves, he's gonna fall into the Rodgers. He's gonna fall into that. You had the ability, but then you didn't make it.
And I would say the same thing about Paris. If they don't win it now with their best squad, you can cross that hope project into a deep question mark. And they're going to spend and buy more, but I would be like, yeah, you couldn't win it with that. I don't think you're ever meant to win.
You're going to win it, yeah.
And then the future, they will never be able to. I think PSG, the problem, my problem with PSG, I don't think they understand is, if you want to make a club for the future where you have the Barcelona clout, where Barcelona is still going to get the next Messi. Barcelona They're not going to go to PSG. Barcelona Real Madrid still can get the next Neymar and Mbappe's and Ronaldo's and Zizou's, right? United still can get the next Ronaldo's and all those people coming up. City, Chelsea, PSG doesn't have that clout. Bayern is still going to get the next Lewandowski's and Götzes and stuff. PSG does not have that clout. Juventus has more clout. Inter Milan has more clout. AC Milan has more clout. Dortmund has more clout than PSG. PSG's problem, they think money can buy you what's the word I'm looking for? A legacy.
Yeah.
They will not ever have it, because Ronaldinho played at PSG. What happened? People who love Ronaldinho fans, they went to Barcelona. Didn't they? Right? Anelka. Anelka was at PSG twice, and he still talks about how if Mbappe wants to win and be known as the best, he needs to leave PSG. And this is the situation about PSG. Once Messi and Neymar retire, you're done. Ramos is done in a year, 2 maybe. Gini Wijnaldum is done in 2 years. Verratti, if he's not careful, he's going to be done in 2 years, right?
With all the injuries,
and this is a situation. Come on, Di Maria is living his best life. He's getting money and he's staying competitive. And he's playing in a country, in a city that is top in the world, right? He's not there. He's not in PSG because he thinks PSG is a great club. He's in PSG because PSG is checking off all the boxes for him before he retires, right? Icardi, right? What's his name? Ibrahimovic went there for what?
It's just annoying to watch them. That's what it is. It's annoying to watch them.
100%. But I
agree with you. They have no identity. To buy an identity, they should have followed Bayern, saying, we'll buy the best French players because we are the club you go to be the best in France. And in the end, they're like, no, we want to be the best in Europe. And they have no one French. So how can I respect the club in the own league that has no one French?
They shouldn't. Honestly, I will say what hurt them the most was buying Messi. If they didn't buy Messi, if they didn't bring, but it was bringing Messi. If they didn't bring Messi in, and they had Neymar, and they had Mbappe, and they went and brought in Camavinga, then Mbappe would have stayed. He would have signed for maybe 3 more years.
They would have gotten Pogba as well. And I see Pogba going to Real. I think
he's coming to Real Madrid to follow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They screwed themselves 100% for the future.
We have to call it a time. Unfortunately, Ukraine is winning.
Of course.
So I guess we didn't really miss much.
So Zidane is going to be the coach by Qatar.
No, Qatar,
but France,
it's going to happen. You can't lose to Ukraine, guys.
But France, we always do that though. This is why we're always in the toughest group in tournaments, because we shit the bed in qualifiers.
Who did France lose to midweek? Who was it that? Oh, sorry. Who did they draw to and they got a red card?
Was it Sweden
or to Bosnia?
Bosnia. Thank you. It was Bosnia-Herzegovina. Yeah, they got the red card. Luckily, they drew.
I gotta watch the second half. How bad it's gonna be. But I agree with you. This is. I think Zidane's gonna take over. This is ridiculous. You can't lose to Ukraine
No.
Sorry.
Oh,
it's not
geez, I'm
possible.
just listening. I'm just reading all the comments now from the chat from the game.
I'm sure it's
Yeah,
like
so it's
fire
like
him, fire
Arsenal is
him,
crap.
dog.
I mean, France is crap.
Yep.
That's what happens when you're not careful. You may have the best, but if they can't play together.
So last just before we wrap up, I think we should answer this question, which is who is the favorite for the World Cup in Qatar? Is France still is France still
No,
the favorite?
France is
Italy.
done. I think
Italy.
France is done.
I
Italy is
think
definitely gonna be
Italy and
the
England
favorites for
me.
sure.
Italy and England are the top two.
Yep. England
Easily.
Again,
and
yeah.
Italy.
I would say that as well.
If France beat their team by their group and they end up being like top by I don't know how many points of goals, yeah, maybe. But until they get that threat, I think Italy will be better just based on their hype and some of the youth guys that are still able to play next year.
Yeah.
England
And
have an
Mancini is-
amazing squad.
Yeah.
If they're able to stop saying it's coming home,
Thank
they will
you.
be able to
Yeah.
go over that hump.
Just
Stop
focus.
saying it.
Yeah,
just
and also too the coach in question as well. He needs to be more brave.
Oh my
If
goodness.
Right?
Zidane,
You can't-
if Zidane
no,
comes,
You
if
can't
Zidane
be
comes
doing
to
the
France,
Ole. You can't be doing the Ole stuff and think you're going to be successful. It's going to be you're going to. I feel like that's going to be the same. You know, the same message of a project you be projecting for 12 years. You know, so it's those, like you said, it's those decision makings that I feel like will probably let England down. But they have the squad. When you said it, you know. We didn't
I
believe
think it's
you,
also the
Jeff, when you had said
mentality.
that Italy was a
I
team to
told you
watch
guys
out
about
for.
Italy.
And we
I
got
was wrong
shot.
about Tuchel, but I was right about England. 1 for 1.
Oh my goodness!
I will
But
say, Josh, it's about the mentality when you get to that level, and the fact that Foden showed up with blonde hair on the first game, I already knew they were going to lose it right there because
yeah,
the hype has gotten to you instead of being humble.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It would have been better if they all just shaved off their heads and said, or dreaded all their heads and said, we're only focusing. We're not gonna go get haircuts. We're only focusing on winning. And I guarantee you that team will go down in history.
Yeah,
They have an opportunity right now, but Italy right now for me is still
it's
by
still the
far
top team.
it's still ahead of everybody right now. Belgium, they had their chance. We talked about this.
I think Belgium is gone
England
now.
has their chance. France can come back. France can come
If they
back.
change coach.
So
Yeah, but
we'll see.
France is gonna ride it out with Deschamps, kind of like Germany did with.
Not if we're at threat of not qualifying. This would be the second game in a row. That's not good. If we're at threat, at least a moment, I guarantee you, Zidane will step in.
Jeez.
Anyways,
we'll see.
Guys, it's been fun though. I guess it's been a really amazing conversation. I know we said 40 minutes, but you know what? That's football.
There's been a lot to talk about. There's been a lot to talk about.
And this is our first show this season. So
wait,
I know everyone has
one quick question for Yves. You said you're playing FIFA 21. How? Or 22?
No, 21.
Oh, 21. Yeah,
So
because they moved Messi. They moved Messi to
Messi.
PSG. Yeah.
Yeah.
In FIFA 21?
Yeah, because they got marketing. Yeah. Apparently PSG got some ridiculous marketing image rights for Messi. And it got even all the way down to FIFA that they had to update the squad.
They've destroyed it. They've destroyed
the
game.
Yeah.
They've destroyed it. I can't play.
I play with City. I only play with City because that's the only team that can, because you have Walker and Cancelo. I play Walker as a center back because it's the only way you can have pace to deal with Mbappe and Neymar.
That's why I always
sad. It's so sad that FIFA, again, FIFA is exactly like UEFA. Don't listen to the fans. Make the same crap every year. It's
it's this season is like with all the transfer, like the transfer window is making me want to buy FIFA 22 and PS5, but I'm just like,
I'll get it because
it's gonna happen. Because what else am I gonna play?
Yeah, you're gonna get it at some point. That's what I'm saying. Like I've been playing
but I'm creating my own club.
Yes,
and I'm gonna become like Paris because now you can create your own club in FIFA 22. I'm gonna give myself $1 billion budget
online
and destroy Paris
and play online.
Oh, yeah, okay, like you can actually build your team now.
Yeah, you can build your team. I don't know. I don't think you can play online though. I think you can.
You know what it's going to be online. You know what it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be France versus
online. Yeah,
Paris versus France.
Paris. United. I think United. You can see a lot of United. It's going to probably be United, Liverpool, City, and Paris. You're not going to see Real Madrid, and you're not going to see Barcelona.
And that's why I was surprised just before. Sorry, I'm surprised you guys didn't mention United. Like, I'm actually excited to see United, the squad. We know, like we've said,
don't need to talk about
coach.
United.
We know our
Sorry,
coach,
Josh.
so we know that it's not going to happen. But I just feel that team is going to be exciting to see in Europe.
Are you talking about Europe or are you talking about for EPL?
Europe.
For the Prem, it's City. For the Prem, it's Chelsea, City, United in my books. For Europe, it's City, Bayern, and everybody else. Right now, sorry. Chelsea, Bayern, City, and everybody else.
Yeah,
that's how
I
see
do
it.
agree with that. I do agree with that.
For me, it would be Chelsea, Man U, City. That's how I would see the Prem. And then for Europe, I'm sorry, I don't see Man U there yet. Not yet.
I don't see Man U.
They have to show me something. They have to show me something in the Prem. And if I consider Europe, it's the guys from last year, which will be Chelsea will be first, Bayern will be second, third will come City over PSG because I
100%.
have not seen them play yet. If PSG manage to be that lethal as they say they are on paper, then yeah, they'll get to the level of Chelsea. But based on the winning, the experience, and the stability, in my view, it's Chelsea and Bayern.
Yep,
that's why.
100%. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna be a good month. September is gonna be a good month. A lot of good games. So
yep.
I'm sure we'll be back here. We'll be back here Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, talking about how or the next international break I think is the end of September.
Yeah,
we'll see where we
October,
are.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right,
yeah,
cool, guys.
This was definitely awesome, man, guys. I know last season, Eve and I did the Champions League show. So Jeff, obviously, I'll message you whenever you're available.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, once Champions League starts, and yeah, it's definitely a fun show all the time. And man, this has really been good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Champions League this year. I cannot lie. But
next time, bring your Chelsea friend on and bring your United friend on from the States, and then we'll have Eves and Kels on. It should be a good show.
Oh,
it should be a very good show. I'm looking forward to it. Always fun to see you, Eves. Long time no see.
I know.
Pleasure,
exactly.
Man.
You guys take care, man.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Thanks, Josh.